Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Williamson County Sports Connection. I'm Jack Daniels, your host, and with me for today's first segment is the head volleyball coach at Spring Station Middle School, Coach Karen Boots. Coach, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
we're going to
start with you. So just back up, tell everybody where you grew up, where you went to school, and where you finished college, and where you've been teaching at, and what you've been doing over the years.
Well, I grew up in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm a graduate of Brentwood Academy. And from Brentwood Academy, I went to Ole Miss. And when I graduated Ole Miss, I taught down in Mississippi for 3 years, and wanted to get volleyball brought down there, but I was ready to move back at that time. So when I moved back, I went to Rutherford County, where I taught at Holloway High School. Actually, I did start a volleyball program team there, and then I got a really good opportunity to leave Holloway and go to Page High School, and I coached volleyball there for a couple of years and then left, and now I'm at Spring Station. I'm in my 3rd year at Spring Station Middle School, where I teach math focus and coach the volleyball team, and just loving every minute of it. It's a great school.
Well, let's back up to Brentwood Academy. Did you play volleyball at Brentwood Academy?
I did. I played volleyball there in middle school and in high school. So
Any other sports?
Everything except for soccer and, well, I couldn't play football. I wanted to play football, but they wouldn't let me back then. So I did everything they offered for female athletes.
Right. Now, you said you do math focus?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What is math focus? Tell us about that. Yeah.
Math focus is just extra help for kids that might, need extra time or extra attention on a certain concept, and a little bit more of an understanding. And I struggled with math growing up, so I can kind of relate to things that they're going through. So I kind of help explain things in a different way, where they can hopefully try to understand it better and just, improve on their skills and things like that. And build their confidence in math is important to me as well.
So math is your background as far as
yes, sir.
What you taught through high school coming up. Well, let's talk about your team this year. I mean, how you guys been doing this year?
We've been doing really well this year. We are 9-2 in district play.
Okay.
We are going back around playing everybody for the second time, so we'll see how it turns out. Right now we're sitting as number 2 in the district behind Brentwood Middle, so we're doing well.
Brentwood Middle, are they kind of always the team to beat, kind of?
I would say Brentwood Middle and Woodland are always the teams to beat. They're always just so tough and very competitive, and they're just fun teams to play. I mean, we do have good competitive spirit with them.
Well, I know they filter into Ravenwood, which has got a great
yes.
program at the high school, and of course the Brentwood girls have won many state championships. So I know the north end of the county is really big in the volleyball, but it sounds like you've got a pretty good little team going on this year. Do you know how the high school team is doing at Summit? Do you know how they're doing this year?
I think, well, with the transition to going out of the district they were in, I think they're kind of struggling, but I'm not 100% sure. But they're just playing a little more competitive teams than they're used to. But they'll get there.
Yeah. Now,
they have great
coaches. The high school coach there, does he come down and help out, or do you have any kind of relationship there with the high school?
We try to work things where we can sometimes maybe scrimmage against each other or practice with each other, and we try to do kind of the same, teaching style, so my girls are ready to go into that when they move up to high school.
Is there different terminologies in volleyball?
As versus like for?
Well, if you call a play, like if I call a play in football, I may call it like rip 116, like that. But you may call a play. I don't know if you just call plays like play number 1 or play.
Well, I mean, it's not like a rip or anything like that, but I'll tell them on a perfect pass to run a 1 or do a slide or something like that. I'll tell girls where I want them to serve it to, or what kind of serve I want them to serve, and same with hitting. Like if I want them to go cross court or go line or anything like that. So that kind of play calling, yes, but it's not like a full play like it is in football and stuff like that.
Well, I know middle school volleyball has, every sport has certain problems. What's the biggest problem facing middle school volleyball?
I would say the biggest problem, I think there's two things. One thing is just a lack of experience, especially, I guess, on the south end of the county. Lack of experience, one, and then just mental toughness. And the reason why I say lack of experience is because a lot of the girls coming in, they've never really been exposed to volleyball or around it because I guess there isn't a lot of options out there. But it's becoming more prevalent in these days than it was back when I played, and which is fantastic. And today, you have to play volleyball like all year round to be competitive, and it's just amazing if somebody does do volleyball, especially club ball, all year round, the gains that they make and how much they grow within a year. And I'm not saying that I want want girls to focus on volleyball and no other sport, because I don't believe in that. But because for their developmental skills, they need to play other sports to rest their muscles and develop other muscles used for other sports. But if you're going to be competitive in the sport of volleyball these days, and it is with any sport, you do need to play year round and just get as many touches and many repetitions as you can. Whether it's club ball or one-on-one training with the coach.
Well, I know at the high school level the club is really big. Well, these girls get on these travel teams and go. Is it that way at middle school level too?
Yes, sir. It's starting to come up, and we do try to promote that. And actually, there's a club ball that's they're doing a satellite team out of Summit High School this year, so that's going to be really exciting, and we hope to draw in more players that way, around the south of the county and things like that.
About what age group does club start?
About 12 years old.
Really?
Yes,
They
sir.
start them down there young.
Yes, or even
how can
younger,
they get it
probably.
over the net? Do they alter the game?
They alter the weight, the ball, and they play with the volley light, so it's a little bit of a lighter ball and things like that.
Is the net shorter?
No.
They keep the same.
Yes, sir.
There's no spiking going on there.
No, but they work on it, but there's really not much of that going on.
Well, now let's get back to your team then. You have 3 separate teams at Spring Station?
Yes, sir. We have a 6th grade team, and that's coached by Wendy Dietz.
Okay.
And on that team, they just focus on fundamentals. She drills that into the girls' heads, and then just because they have a lack of experience, they learn the game of volleyball and how it's played, and just developing those things. And then we have a JV team, and that's coached by Kristen Kaluka, who also works at Spring Station Middle School.
Okay.
And our team this year is the JV consists of 6th and 7th graders, and we just really, tighten up on those fundamental skills at that level and just try to get them ready, prepared for the varsity level the next year. And then we have the varsity, and this year my varsity team consists of mostly 8th graders, and I have one 7th grader who plays both JV and varsity, and she's just added so much to our varsity program as well. But the 8th graders on my team this year I've had since they were in 6th grade, so we're just really close, and they're just a great group of girls. They're close friends, so they work together well on the court and off the court. They're just a tight unit, and they just work to help each other out and build each other up. And it's they're really, really close, and they're close with me and the other coach, and they just felt comfortable with us and just able to express, concerns or thoughts or whatever, and they know that we're going to take that into consideration, and we just all of us just work together and just try to promote them and how we can be the best.
Well, how do you do practice time with like 3 different teams and just the one gym there? Is that a problem as far?
No, sir. We have 2 nets, so we separate. Sometimes we separate JV and varsity if we're working on that. and we practice at the same time, and then the 6th grade practices after us.
So they come in later?
Yes, so they're, they're not in the same practice, but they do have practice times at the same, the same days that we do as well. So.
Do you do games the same way? I mean, like if you're playing on a Tuesday night against somebody, is it the 6th grade plays first, and then the JV and the varsity, or is it the? I mean, how you do that?
We all play on the same night, and all our home games we play JV, varsity, 6th grade.
Okay.
And then when we go to other schools, when we visit, it's just whatever they prefer. A lot of them like it 6th grade JV varsity, so we'll do it that way. And sometimes we'll have to play varsity first and then JV. So I mean, we're just flexible. We'll do whatever. So we're good with that. But as far as practice goes, we just, if we don't separate JV and varsity, like I might pull off the hitters and work with them, or work with the passers or setters and things like that. So we do use both sides.
Well, kind of catch me up to date on how do y'all score in middle school volleyball? How's the scoring go?
It's all rally scoring.
Okay.
So no matter who is serving or what's going on, if the ball hits, somebody's going to get a point.
Okay.
For that. And
they go to what now?
They go to 25. The first 2 matches they go to 25, and then if they split those, then they'll go to a 3rd match and they'll play to 15. Okay, and it's still rally scoring on the 3rd.
So it's the best 2 out of 3 then. Where the high school, I think they play.
Right, out of 5.
Yeah, 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
And you do the same thing for your 6th grade all the way up?
Yes, sir.
Do they have a hard time getting over the net, 6th graders?
Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do, but we, like our 6th grade coach is just amazing, and just works with them on their overhand serve, because that's a requirement to make the JV team, is to get your overhand serve in. So she really hones in on that. So, but as far as passing, they're really good about getting it over, but serving is an issue. But again, there's not a lot of like spiking or blocking or anything like that, but they do try. So it's good.
Well, I can see it being a pretty fast game since they're going to score a point on everything. I don't think there's a lot of rallies going on probably with the 6th grade.
Not a lot of rallies, but then you get into, just missed serves and going back and forth and trading points. So sometimes it's quick, sometimes it can kind of be tedious. So.
Well, during the course of a match, are you a pretty active coach? Are you standing up yelling at them, or what are you doing?
Well,
are you sitting down there calm and?
Well, the girls know and my parents know that if I sit down, it's not a good thing. It means I'm not happy. So I'm always up and yelling things, or I'm really big on positive correction and really good feedback. So. I help them call plays, whether a ball's in or out, or where it's going to, and things like that. So I do try to help them out as much as I can, sitting over there on the sidelines.
Well, Karen, Karen, thanks for being here for our first segment. It's gone by very fast. And best of luck for the rest of this year.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned for our second segment.
My name is Austin. Why I picked this book is why I picked Puppies is because it has really good illustrations and it had facts I never knew, and I just loved the book when I read it.
Welcome back for our second segment of today's show, and with me is the head golf coach at Summit High School, Coach Dan Hollandsworth. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you much. Glad to be here.
Let's start with you. Just start with where you grew up and where you went to school and what you've been doing over the last few years.
I'm from a little town called White House, Tennessee, just north of Nashville, just south of the Kentucky border. Went to White House High School. After there, went to UT Knoxville. Been in the county for the past 10 years, and this is my first year at Summit.
Okay. Now, being the golf coach, I just assumed that you play golf yourself.
Absolutely. No. Since the baby has shown up, I've played a little less golf, but but yeah, played golf in high school and played a lot in college. It wasn't on UT's team, but did play quite a bit in college.
Now, if I've heard this term, I'm a kind of golfer that grips it and rips it. Okay, so I don't keep up with scores a lot, but you hear the term a scratch golfer. What's a scratch golfer mean?
Scratch golfer, you can, on average, you're going to be even par. So you can expect to have a round of 72 or below most times. So that's about where I was in college. I never got actually to scratch, but was pretty darn close.
Well, I can't say that I've never been a scratch golfer then, so I'm going to be handicapped up there probably about an 18, I guess.
That's about where I'm at now.
So it'll be about a bogey a round or something like that. But I kind of keep my score just by pars now. If I get a par, I count that as a 1. So, well, let's talk about your district that you're in. Tell us about what district and the other teams that are in your district.
We just got realigned this year. We added in, well, actually Summit came into the district with Centennial, Ravenwood, Brentwood, Franklin, Independence, and now Dixon County. So we've been getting to know a bunch of different people over the course of the year because Summit was not in this district last year, and like we said, neither was Dixon. So for years we had we didn't have those two, but we did have Hillsborough in the district. So it's been interesting getting to know other people.
Well, now you've been at Ravenwood the last few years, I know. Now you've gone down to the Summit. How's that move been for you?
It's been great.
Yeah.
It's
do you
been
live in the south end?
I do. I'm probably 10 or 15 minutes away from Summit High School. Like I mentioned before, my wife and I had a daughter, and Summit has a daycare, and we needed childcare, so we moved to Summit.
Yeah.
So,
well, what do you guys call your home course then, as far as where you play at?
We're at Kings Creek.
Okay.
We're at Kings Creek Golf Course. We've been there all year, and they have absolutely bent over backwards for us. They have been spectacular to my team. I've got several of my kids that actually work at the course, and if anybody ever needs to find one of the Summit golfers, it's probably a good chance you're going to find them at Kings Creek Golf. That's where they are.
Well, who's the teaching pro out there at Kings Creek?
The main
lady, isn't it?
Yeah, Nancy Corsolino.
Nancy, yeah.
She is the swing coach for a good chunk of my players.
Yeah.
They see Miss Nancy quite a bit, and she does a great job with them. Fantastic job.
Well, as a golf coach, I know, what do you see as probably one of the biggest problems that you have to face?
Wow. There's the resources. Having the time and the money to go out and spend on a golf game is one of the big things, but that's in any sport. The other thing when dealing with high schoolers is convincing them that there's this thing called the putting green, and they should probably go practice on it. I preach at my players that if you're going to spend an hour on the driving range, you should probably spend an hour on the putting green working on your short game. So convincing golfers to get to the putting green and work on that short game is really my toughest challenge. And that doesn't matter if it's Ravenwood, Brentwood, Summit, anywhere. Getting them on a putting green is tough. But if they'll buy in, that causes championships. I mean, if you can putt, you can go big.
Well, there's quite a few sayings in the game of golf, and one of them is you drive for show and you putt for dough, and I think that's probably relating to the professional ranks, as far as that's where the big time guys make the big money is taking off the number of strokes on that putting green. But I'm like everybody else. When I go out to hit a few golf balls, I'm going to go to the driving range where I can pick up the big sticks and swing them.
Absolutely. You want to see a ball go 300 yards. Who does?
I can't hit them 300 yards anymore.
I want to.
Yeah.
But with the putt for dough thing as well, let's talk scholarship money. I mean, because if you're talking about D1 college golf, if you're within 10 feet on the putting green, you're money. I mean, that's, if you can putt and you can get them in every time, and it's a guaranteed within 10 feet, then there's a good chance you're going to get some scholarship money out there. So, if I can get my kids to think that way as well, that works. So that's my big thing. That's what I've been preaching all year long to my kids at Summit.
Sure. Well, let's go over some of your team. Tell us who your players are, and how many boys players and how many girls players, and who those people are.
We just named the district team, the 5 boys and 3 girls that are going to play in the district tournament. In total at Summit, I've got 9 boys and 5 girls. My best players this year on the boys' side, I've got a young man named Daniel Nelson, and it's been really fun watching Daniel because we started off the year and his game wasn't where it needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And as the year has gone on, he's tied the school record twice for a 9-hole match. Skylar Cochran is another one of my kids who's also tied that record. So as the year has gone on, we've progressed better and better and better. I've got 2 seniors on my boys' team. I've got Harry Schreiner and I've got Steve McCracken, who great kids, absolutely fantastic kids. I couldn't ask for much more. Steven's going to be joining the Marine Corps after his senior year, so really, really, really proud of him. On the girls' side, I've got a lot of good girls. I really do. I've got a freshman that I'm really, really excited about, named Sarah Smith. Once she grows up just a smidge and gets her mind around the mental part of the game, she's gonna be something fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Anna Horn is my top girl this year. She's got a heck of a way around the golf course. Course management is her strong suit by far. No question about it. I'm really, really, really proud of the team. Another girl, Tessa Bartow, she's making huge strides towards something really special on the golf course.
Mm-hmm. So as far as you mentioned, the guys tied a school record.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mind telling us what that record
36.
was? 36.
36 on 9.
And that's was par for the
Yes, sir.
course, 36.9.
Yes, sir.
Well, who is the kind of the elite team this year? Is it the team you came from,
It is.
Ravenwood?
It is.
Okay.
That one. It's bittersweet.
Yeah.
They're my kids.
Yeah.
So Ravenwood's really. They've just been tearing it up this year.
Yeah.
It's been against us, not really so much, but it's been fun to watch. I know Davis Baxter shot a 30 against us at Brentwood Country Club not too long ago, and they're playing out of their minds.
Mm-hmm.
So the girls' side, I'm going to say, is a little more open. It's not like in years past when there was just one girls' team that was just dominating everybody. Brentwood's got a heck of a team. Sarah Kleinecrocht at Brentwood is playing some really good golf.
Mm-hmm.
Some really good golf. So it'll be fun to watch on Monday. Who lights it up out there?
Right. And let's talk a little bit about where the district tournament's going to be at.
Okay. We're going to be playing at the Grove on Arno Road, just off of 840.
Mm-hmm.
Brand new Greg Norman course. Right now, I believe it is the most elite course in Tennessee. It's the least accessible. From what I understand, to be a member, you have to buy a lot. So you have to live there to play there. So we're really blessed to be able to get our district tournament at the Grove. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. So from the district, how many teams advance to the region, and then from the region to the state? How does that work out?
It works out to where with the boys, well, actually with both, I should say, they're the top 3 teams go on to the region tournament.
Okay.
The top 5 boys and girls that are not on one of those teams also advance to the region.
Okay.
Once you get to the region tournament, which is going to be at Old Hickory Country Club this year, the top team goes on to the state tournament, and the top 4 players not on that team go on to the state tournament.
Oh, so only one team advances from the region onto
Correct.
the state.
Correct.
And where do they do the state at? Is it still down in
The state is going to be at
Manchester?
Willowbrook in Manchester. Yes, sir. We've been there for the past 3 or 4 years, I think. Great course, great track. With all the rain that we've had this year, it's in fantastic shape.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be a really good state tournament.
Mm-hmm. Do the kids get to go down a day early to the state and do a
They do.
practice round?
They do. We play on Monday a full 18-hole practice round. They'll get it's like your big tournaments. You get 15 minutes a hole. You can putt around on the green some, get a feel for the course. We can take range finders out and shoot the course, find where the obstacles are, find where trouble spots are going to be. Then after that, the state tournament's a 2-day tournament, which a lot of times feels like a war of attrition. Because it doesn't sound like much, but walking 18 holes 3 days in a row, by that 3rd day, stuff starts to hurt. So it can be a tough 3 days.
Mm-hmm. Well, Coach, what is your responsibility, or what can you do as a coach when a match actually starts? Can you coach the kids?
No, I can't. And it's really frustrating, but I get it. My responsibilities once the match starts, really, that focuses on player management, making sure that everybody's got what they need, drinks, snacks, whatever. Also taking notes on things that I see on the course. If somebody is, for example, if they're stuck behind a tree, okay, they're up on some roots and it's just an awful shot, and they decide to play that shot, and they end up taking 3 or 4 strokes because of it. I need to get with them after the match is over and say, hey, an unplayable lie would have probably been a better move back there. Teaching course management through what they do on the course. So during the match, I can't coach, but during our practice rounds, during practice times, I absolutely can coach, and that's when those notes that I've taken will come into play, and we'll use those as teachable moments after the match is over.
Mm-hmm. What about interpretation of some rules? I mean,
We
does
do.
that come into play? You
It
help out
does.
on that? Because Tiger needs help.
On occasion. It's during matches, yes. I and the other coach that we're playing against typically serve as the rules official.
Okay.
If it's too much for us, if it's an odd situation, we'll call the pro shop and ask the pro inside the pro shop, for a ruling. A lot of times during matches, what we'll have to do, because we're not as accessible, because we're only one person and we've got 5 or 6 groups out there, we'll have the kids play 2 balls all the way through, record both scores, and then we figure out the ruling at the end of the match. When it gets to district, region, and state, stakes are a little higher, since those really do count, since we talked before about
Sure.
the teams going on to bigger tournaments. We'll have a rules official there, or we'll make sure that the pro at the pro shop is readily available for rulings. A lot of times the coaches will come together and we'll be the rules committee.
Right.
So a lot of times USGA Rules of Golf refers to the rules committee, and that's us.
Right. Do you have a favorite golfer?
I do. I've got a couple. I mean, I love pulling for Tiger. He's just fun to watch. I grew up watching Tiger. Phil Mickelson's been a lot of fun. I'll tell you though, being a high school golf coach, I love watching Brett Snedeker, just because he's the local guy,
Sure.
because he went to Vanderbilt, and I love seeing him succeed.
Yeah.
And I'm just hoping that for all of our kids.
Right. Well, Coach, thanks for being with us, and best of luck in the district and the rest of the year. Our time is gone for us today.
Thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you for joining us for this segment of the Williamson County Sports Connection. I'm Jack Daniels, your host.
This river has been a big part of my life. Luckily, it's still clean. But things we do every day pollute our streams. So it's up to all of us to stop pollution by fixing leaky cars, not littering, and using lawn chemicals wisely. If you don't want to see it in the river, don't let it go down the storm drain. It's easy to help. Find out how at TennesseeWaterworks.com.
If we want to keep the blue in the sky, the green in the trees, we better care for the air we breathe. That it would truly be a breath of fresh air when we all can see forever through the air we breathe. So let's really try to be more aware of what we can do to clean up the air we all share. So let's you and me roll up our sleeves, let's do all we can and care for the air